Okay, so this is video 3, which is domain and range notation. We're going to start with graphical notation. This should be fairly straightforward because you've graphed inequalities in the past. Say I wanted to graph x is less than -3. Then this open circle right here, this open circle implies that it does not include the -3. If it was solid dot, like this one, say I wanted to graph x is less than or equal to -3, then I would put a solid dot and the arrow on the end. So the arrow means it's going from wherever it's going, wherever it starts, this start point, all the way to infinity. This would be going to positive infinity. If the arrow was pointing this way, it'd be heading off in the direction of negative infinity. And now we're looking at some notations for domain and ranges. We got set builder notation, and this concept of this straight line right here. This straight line means that such that, so we will say the domain is the set of all x such that, and then we'll put whatever conditions we're going to put on x, okay? And the same thing for the range, right? The set of all y such that conditions blank blank on y, whatever y is as far as the range. So we might say, for example, this is the set of x such that x is greater than or equal to -3. So that's the way we'll say this, but we'll write it like this in set notation. So we might say the set of x such that x is greater than or equal to -3. So that's the way we would read that. So now we'll go on to interval notation. Okay, in interval notation, you will see brackets. You will see brackets, and you will see open parentheses. Brackets means it includes that number. Open parentheses means it does not. So in a set builder notation, you might write x, the set of all x such that x is greater than 3. In interval notation, which is what we see in higher level math, we'll see this. Now we put an open parentheses around infinity because we can't ever actually get to infinity. It just means it goes on forever. Okay, so the set of all x such that x is less than or equal to, or less than 2, you might write from negative infinity to 2. Now, there's going to be a temptation to write these in the opposite order and put infinity last, but you always go in the same direction as the number line. So we want to go left to right. So this is the smallest number and this is the biggest number in interval notation. Whether or not it's written another way in set notation or written in sort of a way that's different, like that might make us want to write this from 2 to negative infinity. We have to go from smallest to highest on the interval. So why don't you pause the video and do the second 2. Okay, so the first one should be fairly straightforward. This one here, just open parentheses here and a bracket here. And then on the second one, we have to include all the numbers less than or equal to 0 and all the numbers greater than 4. Now, we use this operator here. It's the union. It basically means the or statement. Okay, so it's this or that. So we have to include both. All right, so if you saw that on a number line, you would be doing an arrow this way and then come over here to 4 and we go that way. And you can see on the diagram it's pretty straightforward, but again, make sure you're going left to right on the number line. All of them go in the exact order that they are on the number line. And very quickly here, we can write this expression with real numbers. I write it like this. Okay, you might see it a lot of different ways, but in text, in script, or in typing, it looks a little different, but this is an easy way to write it. Just do 2 R's, 2 lines, and then write an R. That means real numbers. So don't fall into the trap. This is just some domain and range advice. It's really easy to fall in the trap that I'm going to immediately say, just real numbers. It's real numbers. It's real numbers. But you need to make sure you're checking what function you're dealing with, the picture, the graph, the set of points, before you decide that the range or domain is all real numbers. But if it is, this is an easy way to write it. You can also write it in interval notation here with negative infinity to infinity. Also, the domain and range can be written if we want to exclude two values with a little open slash like this. And what that means is that this is the set of all real numbers except 1 and 2. That's it for a domain and range notation.